Hello guys, welcome back to Irish Footy Vlogs, the only Irish channel that offers one matchday vlog weekly in the League of Ireland. I have a review show up on the channel reviewing the games of the weekend that just went past, and today we're doing the prediction show. So this is the show basically where I predict the scores for the upcoming games. Right, first of all, we're starting off in the Premier Division, and Cork City take on Bohemians at Turner's Cross. Cork City are second bottom with 3 points after 5 games, 1 win, 4 defeats. Bohemians, after 5 games themselves, have 9 points. They're tucked in in third place, 3 wins, 2 defeats. I think for this game, team news, I think Twardick is out for the next 2 games, I believe, because of the Olympics. I think he's going over with Canada, which is, you can understand it from Twardick's point of view, but could be a loss for Bows. He set up the 2 goals in their last game against Shelburne, which they won 2-0. They do have Danny Grant back, so that's big news for them at least. So, they'd love to have the 2 of them playing together, but I'm sure that will happen pretty soon. It did happen the last day, actually. Cork City, a good win a couple of weeks ago against Finn Harps, 1-0, and they lost an hour match away to Pat, so they have improved performance-wise, and this is going to be an interesting one at Turner's Cross, actually. A game that I do think will be tight. I'm not sure what condition the pitch is like, but it couldn't be in the best of condition with all the weather we've had, poor weather we've had recently. But I'm going to say this one will be a draw. I think Bows will go down to Cork and get a 1-1 draw, and Cork might be satisfied enough with that. 1-1 at Turner's Cross. Now, at the Brandywell, Derry City will take on Sligo Rovers. Derry City have 4 points after 4 matches. Sligo Rovers have no points after 4 matches. Both teams have a game in hand. Derry 1 win, 1 draw, 2 defeats. And the draw they did get against Finn Harps was very, very fortunate. It was last minute goals. So Derry are struggling to adapt. They have a lot of new players, and I think they're struggling to find the right chemistry in their team at this moment in time. Sligo have a few injuries, particularly in defence, and I think Lewis Banks is out. Their Finnish central defender is out. I'm not even going to try and pronounce his name, sorry lads, but you'll know who he is if you're a Sligo fan. And Mahon is obviously still out as well. The good news for them, Niall Moorhan has been playing right back and has been excellent. Really impressed with him. Coughlin got off the score sheet the last day as well, albeit but from the penalty spot he still got off the score sheet. The Freeze from New Zealand may well play in this game as well for Sligo, so interesting to see how they go. Derry City, sorry, banging at the door there. Derry City have Stephen Mallon, who's playing really well, a player I said keep an eye on at the start of the season. But up front, they're finding it difficult. They don't know whether to go for Nielsen or Little. Figure even up front as a possibility. And McDonough on the right. They haven't got that blend right, I don't think, up top. Relatively okay at the back, I think. But they are home. They will be looking for another win here. And I do think Derry will do it. Derry City, 2 Sligo Rovers, 1 at the Brandywell. Friday night at Oriel Park, Dundalk will take on St Patrick's Athletic. By the way, all these Premier Division games are on Friday night. There's only 1 match in the First Division that's on Saturday, but we'll get into that later. Dundalk, obviously, taking on St Patrick's Athletic. Dundalk have 12 points from 4 games. Pats have 6 points from 4 games. Now, we all know how good Dundalk are. They're a well-oiled machine. They're at home. They had a great win at Finn Harps last time out. Patrick Hooban has had a fantastic start to the season. 5 games, 5 goals. For me, if he can stay fit, it could be another epic season for him. And I definitely think I'd be shocked if he doesn't hit 20 goals in the league this season. He might even hit more than that in the league. So, if he stays fit, of course, and the coronavirus doesn't get us somehow. But it's difficult to see Dundalk not winning this game. Duffy out wide, obviously, they've choices, like they could go with Cammy Smith, or Jordan Flores. Then you've got McElhenney and Kelly in the other wing they could go with. There's the impressive Sloggett, who started very well his career, And of course, Dave Massey's keeping out, Dara Leahy. So, yeah, I mean, it's difficult to pick an argument for Pats, actually, to get a result here, because I think they're a bit unsure in their best 11. Rory Feely's back. They're still trying to find a formula. I think they're unsure whether to go with Rennie or Hale as a striker. They're unsure whether to go with Doon or McClellan, for example, out wide, or even play Hale out wide. Two things they're sure about in the attacking areas is Chris Forrester and Billy King. Billy King has started the season very, very well for Pats and scored the winner in the last match. Chris Forrester is a brilliant player, and for me, he would get in any team in this league. He had a tough year last year, personal issues and that. He's come back stronger though than ever. I think the end of last season, I thought he improved immensely, and he started the season very well for Pats. At times, I think he needs more support. For example, if he's in Dundalk or Rovers teams, there'd be less pressure on him as well and less reliance on him. But I do think Pats are a bit reliant on him at the moment. Pats will be hoping to get Benson back for this game after an injury as well. I think they'll battle for a while, but ultimately I don't see them getting the goals they need to win the game, and I do see Dundalk getting the goals they need to win the game. So I think Dundalk will win by 2-0 at Oriel Park. Now, Tallaght Shamrock Rovers take on Finn Harps, and it's very difficult to pick an argument to argue the fact that Finn Harps are going to get anything from this game, to be honest. 4 points for 4 games for Finn Harps after a decent start, 2 defeats in a row. Shamrock Rovers, top of the table, 5 wins. 15 points, 11 goal difference. Threats everywhere. Ferrugia out wide, McAniff out wide, Jack Byrne in the midfield, the underrated Aaron Green up front. Graham Burke, if he's available, he might still be injured. So, look, it's very difficult to pick an argument that Finn Harps are going to get anything from this game. They did keep it very tight in their first couple of games. They'll need to do so and really battle here and at least make it difficult for Shamrock Rovers to perform. And that is easier said than done. I think Rovers will win this well. I think it'll be Shamrock Rovers 3, Finn Harps 0. Now, the final game in the Premier Division of the weekend will see Shelburne take on Waterford FC at Tolka Park. This is a really intriguing game. And it's a game I'll be going to vlog. So this Friday I'll be vlogging Shelburne and Waterford at Tolka Park. The reason why it's intriguing, both teams are on 6 points after 4 matches, and I think both teams will be satisfied with that as well, picking up some good wins. Waterford last time out against Derry, they also won at Pats. Shelburne also beat Pats, and they won at Cork. So I think they'll both be pleased, as I said, with that start. Waterford will be looking for more of an attacking threat. Their goals were screamers, Griffin and Sambone against Derry City. Not really attackers, obviously. And Kevin O'Connor scored a goal against Pats. So we'll be looking for more from the strike force, the likes of Michael O'Connor and that. So be interesting to see if they can bring in other players as well who can help some of the younger players perhaps. But Shelburne have Kieran Kilduff back. Kabia was missing for the last game. He may still be injured, not sure yet. They'll want to get him back in there though. They do have the threat of Carl Shepherd, who I think has started quite well actually at Shelburne this season. And both teams are pretty decent at the back. Tolka Park has been a bit bumpy the last couple of times I was there with the horrible weather. It'll be interesting to see if that's changed. Something is telling me Waterford are going to come to Dublin and get another 3 points. They are the party poopers of the league at times, I think. And, Shelburne will be looking for points here. It's a game both teams will feel they can get points. But I just sense, I have a feeling that Waterford might pinch this one. Shelburne 0, Waterford 1 for me. Now on to the first division, and I'll start off with Galway FC and Cabinteely. Now, Cabinteely have had a fine start. 3 wins, 9 points, 100% record. Thank you very much from their point of view. Galway, a messy start. They've only had 2 games. I think game postponed. Then another game against Shamrock Rovers in horrendous conditions. 2 draws though, away from home for them. If they could win this, you would say that's a decent start. 5 points from their first 3 games and 2 away draws. So, but I just feel the momentum is still kind of with Cabinteely, I feel. And with Galway, I still feel that it's difficult. They haven't got a pattern to their season yet, whereas Cabinteely have had early on. Barnes has got 3 goals, top scorer in the league for Cabinteely. Kieran Marty-Waters is a big threat for them, very good player as well. Galway are missing Duggan as well, which is key. He was sent off in the last match. So this is their first home game of the season in the league. And it's a great ground name in DC Park, or Dicey, whichever way you pronounce it. DC for me. And I would say be hopping, and they'll be looking to get something from this game. But I just sense with the momentum Cabinteely have, and with the messy start Galway have had, the Cabinteely will win this game. Galway 1, Cabinteely 2 for me. Now, at the Carlisle grounds, Bray Wanderers will take on Cove Ramblers, and Bray have had 2 games and they've had a win and a defeat. Winning at home last time out. Cove have had an interesting start. Fantastic win for them last time out. They've 3 points for 3 games. Great win against Athlone, win that 3-2. But I think Bray will be very difficult to beat at home this season. And in Gary Shaw, they've a lot of Premier Division experience, and a player who's got 2 goals so far this season. So I think this will be difficult one for Cove. They'll make it difficult, I think. They did make it difficult for Drogheda and were unlucky to lose at UCD. And that was a very good character building win, to be fair, it had against Athlone, because they were 2 up and let that lead slip to 2-2. But then the man sent off and went on and got the winner to win 3-2. But I do think Bray will win this one narrowly. Bray Wanderers 2, Cove Ramblers 1. Now, this is a very intriguing game in UCD at the Belfield Bowl, or UCD Bowl, whatever you want to call it, between UCD and Longford Town. Longford, 6 points for 2 games, one of the title favourites, along with Drogheda. UCD, a win, a draw, and a defeat. So they've done the whole package in their first 3 games, but their defeat was a bad one, that 5-1 defeat at Drogheda. And this is an opportunity for them to prove that that was a one-off and just a bad performance. For Longford, I suppose, an opportunity to show that they can do what Drogheda did to some degree, I think, even though it's away from home. And I think this game will tell a lot about UCD this season. If they go in and get beaten well again, you'd have to say that they're not going to contend this season, and there are problems there when they play the better teams. I was at that game and I vlogged at UCD and Drogheda, and UCD were just carved open far too easily for my liking, or the manager's liking, I would suggest. They need to improve, and the work rate for me needs to improve. Like, the work rate wasn't 100% in that game because Drogheda were waltzing through the centre of their midfield, and a lot of that was down to a lack of work rate, in my opinion. It really was. So they'll have to up that for Longford, because if they don't, they will be beaten again, and beaten very well. I find it difficult that they're going to improve so much in a week to take on Longford, and I'm going to go for Longford with Manley and Verdon to win this one by 2-0. Now, Athlone Town will take on Wexford FC in Athlone on Friday night, and this is an interesting one because I spoke how Athlone would have seen the trip to Cove as an opportunity to get some points on the board. Likewise, I think here too. But Wexford have had a couple of games, 3 games this season already, and I think they've done quite well. If you compare them to last season, when they got 2 wins all season and essentially finished in bottom. Limerick finished bottom only because they were deducted 25 points. But they had a very narrow defeat away to Bray, and they had 2 home draws, Wexford, this season. So, you can see they're improving, and I did say that they will be much better this season. Not just better, but much better. Athlone, basically pissed that they threw away that lead at Cove. It wasn't a lead. They were 2 down, basically. They got back to 2-2. Cove got a player sent off, and Cove went on to win the game 3-2. That would have hit them hard, I think, Athlone. And they've only had a couple of games this season. Cabinteely beat them 3-1 in Athlone as well. But I mentioned the other week how Wexford aren't too far away from a win. I think they might win this one here. I'm going Athlone 1, Wexford 2. Now, the only game this weekend that's actually on a Saturday night between both divisions, Shamrock Rovers 2 or B, whichever way you want to call them, against Drogheda United. And this game, it sees Drogheda United trying to kick on from that win over UCD ultimately and try and get the 3 points. Because I think when you win like that, you almost see it as being vital that you go and win your next game. Shamrock Rovers B did pick up a point in the league so far, narrowly beaten in their other games. But curiously, they kind of they're changing their 11 an awful lot, and I'm not sure why that is. I don't know if it's to do with injuries, players being called up to the first team squad. For example, Dean Williams and Brandon Kavanagh, who are pretty close to first team squad, you would suggest, didn't play last weekend but played the weekend before. I think Drogheda will have too much class for them overall. Highland and O'Farrell in midfield, very industrious, get around the park. Adeyemo's come in this season, done very well for them, and he could kick on. They obviously have Chris Lyons up front. But I just think, that Mark Doyle in the wing as well. I think Drogheda will have too much class for them in this game, and I think they'll get the goals they need. I think it'll be Rovers beat 0, Drogheda United 2. So guys, that's it this week for the prediction show. The review show of last week's games is now up on the channel. I'm going to vlog Shelburne and Waterford this weekend on Friday, and then St Patrick's Athletic and Derry City on Monday. I'm going to be vlogging that game as well. That game was postponed. The following Friday then, is it Dundalk and Bowes the following Friday? Or Bowes and Dundalk, I should say. It's at Dalymount. I'm definitely going to that one anyway. I'm not sure if it's that Friday or the following Friday, but definitely going to that one as well. So, and you'll have the usual review shows and prediction shows in between as well. So plenty of stuff coming up, guys. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Have a look at the videos. Plenty of matchday vlogs. I do one every week. And that's about it. So have a good week and then weekend. See you later. Good luck. Bye now.